Masquera say Mure Zimbabwe, welcome to our channel Zim Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana karibu tanka kukuya paneno channel. Please don't forget to subscribe. Kana chungwa garoga subscriber. Don't forget to comment and share this video. Nasmure Zimbabwe takugirai nyaya yabuditswa yekufa kwa the former vice president Mphoko abo varunzi vakafa musi Friday ku India mure Zimbabwe. Varunzi body yavo ichiri stuck ku India uko kwavakafa mushure mekunge varwara kwenguva yakareba mure Zimbabwe. Vari kunzi vanga vane problem yehypertension mure Zimbabwe, zvichinzi vanga vasafa neproblem iyoyo kwenguva yakati rebei mure Zimbabwe. So nyaya iyi yakonzera waves masititsi esocial media vanachitaura ivo vachiti ana Mphoko vaitora mari vachiba mari vaitora mari vachitadza kubuilda hospitals muno muZimbabwe. Hanzi why is it that politicians they tend to go kuna South Africa, China nana India kuti vanorapwa vachitadza kudevelopa zvipatara munyika mavo. Zvinzi even vana vavo they go kunodzidza kuzvikoro zviri kunze kwenyika, but politicians anotadza kudevelopa education system yemuno munyika. Nyaya yabuditswa neThePindula News vachitaura ivo vachiti the death of Liberation War husband and former vice president Mphoko in India on Friday serves as a stark reminder of the monumental leadership failure in Zimbabwe. They are the sentiments expressed by Farai Maguwu, the founding director of the Center for Natural Resource Governance. Posting on X, Maguwu pointed out that Zimbabwe is one of the few countries in the world where leaders seek treatment abroad and often die overseas because they have failed to invest public funds into the country's healthcare system. Maguwu lamented that instead of prioritizing the health sector, the country's ruling establishment continues to spend state finances on schemes aimed at retaining power. He wrote, "The death of Mphoko in India reminds us of the monumental leadership failure in Zimbabwe. We are one of the few countries in the world with leaders who seek treatment and die abroad because instead of investing in their health sector, they rob their own countries and spend public resources on cars, power retention schemes, and depression and perennial puberty. As Chiva splashes stolen money on cars, hospitals have no drugs, health professionals are demoralized, and hospitals are run down. What does Wicknow produce that earns him so much money? When Zim rulers get sick, they steal money and hire private jets to foreign lands, South Africa, China, and India, having spent few minutes in the VIP lounge at the airport, forgetting that they have 16 million people to whom life and death depend on their decisions. When shall these people learn that even where they go for treatment, they are laughed at as dumb and criminals who steal from their own people to save their own lives, and yet they are expected to make decisions that benefit them, their families, and their fellow compatriots together? By the way, they love Dubai and Qatar, don't they? Haven't they seen that there is state-of-art hospital in Dubai and Qatar in almost every square mile, and the Emirates, the people of Emirates and Qataris are now the envy of the whole world. Thanks to their leader, nations rise and fall on leaderships. They go to SA, India, and China for treatment, and yet we have never seen leaders and citizens of those countries coming to Harare for treatment. Why? Is it an admission we are a nation of jokers and rulers who know very well if they want serious treatment, they must look elsewhere? Ndovabuditswa vakaitwa nyaya iyi mure Zimbabwe pachitaura painzi why Mphoko akawanikwa achizoenda ku India kunorapwa achisiya Zimbabwe. Mure Zimbabwe tisingazive kuti munoionawo sei nyaya iyi. Tauri kwatiri kuita vaMnangagwa vadeclare vapelekezera Mphoko a national hero. Munyaya yakabuditswa namai Zimbabwe vachitaura vachiti the nation is in mourning following the death of former vice president Mphoko at the age of 84. His passing confirmed on Friday by presidential spokesperson George Charamba, who simply stated, "Regrettably, I can confirm he is late. To Zim life brings to a close the life of a prominent figure in Zimbabwean history." Mphoko, who had been battling an undisclosed illness, passed away while receiving treatment in India with his wife Lorinda at his side. Born on June 11, 1940, Mphoko was a veteran of the liberation struggle, known by his known by his Nom de Guerre report. He was one of the few surviving commanders of the Zimbabwe People's Revolutionary Army ZIPRA, playing a pivotal role in the fighting of independence. His contributions extend beyond the battlefield. His diplomatic career spanned several decades, serving as Zimbabwe's ambassador to Mozambique, Austria, Botswana, Russia, and South Africa, beginning in 1987. Beyond his diplomatic roles, Mphoko was also a successful businessman, a former shareholder in Choppy, Zimbabwe, and a cattle rancher. His political career reached its zenith when he served as vice president under Robert Mugabe from 2014 to 2017. This period saw him also take on the crucial portfolio of national healing, peace, and reconciliation, a statement to the trust placed in him by Mugabe. Furthermore, on July 6, 2015, Robert Mugabe assigned Mphoko the responsibility for coordinating and implementing government policy, highlighting his influence with the ruling party. His political trajectory, however, took a sharp turn with the November 2017 coup that ousted Mugabe and installed Emerson Mnangagwa as president. Mphoko, a close ally of Mugabe, was subsequently removed from office. His later years involved navigating legal challenges, regularly appearing before the Harare Magistrate Courts. Tributes have poured in from across the political spectrum, reflecting the profound impact Mphoko had on many lives. Professor Jonathan Moyo, former Information and Higher Education Minister, remembered him as a selfless national liberation hero and gentleman, a Pan-African not through slogans but in his household, a consummate diplomat and an assuming and reluctant politician whose deeds were defined by humility. The news of his untimely death is shocking. Seve Kasugwere, former local government minister and political ally, described Mphoko as a political giant, adding a matured nationalist. VP Mphoko gave all his life in service of the country. He fought in the struggle for independence but never used a sickening sense of entitlement on others. He detested tribalism, and soon it brought him into conflict with power-hungry and corrupt politicians. Tabeth Kaningoni Malinga, former Minister of State in Mphoko's office, spoke of his aspiring leadership. I had the distinct honor to serve as Minister of State in his office, a role through which I came to know him not only as a visionary leader, but also as a compassionate and principled man who dedicated much of his life to liberating Zimbabwe from colonial rule. I was profoundly moved by his tireless efforts to address the pressing needs of our people. He worked relentlessly to promote national peace, reconciliation, and equitable development. His wisdom and humility stood out, as did his deep and genuine concern for the well-being of every Zimbabwean, irrespective of their background or status. He inspired those around him to pursue the betterment of our nation with commitment and integrity. His pivotal contributions to Zimbabwe's liberation struggle and his dedicated service in the years that followed will forever be etched in our history and our hearts. Ndo nyakabuditswa muri Zimbabwe tisingazive kuti muri ona sei nyaya iyi yetudzi zvamunofunga mu comment section.